Have you ever noticed that your brain is basically a movie director, except it only makes horror films? I'm serious. You're lying in bed at night and your brain decides to write, produce, and screen a full-length feature about something that hasn't even happened yet. The meeting that goes wrong, the conversation that blows up, the diagnosis, the rejection, the thing you can't even name, but you just feel it in the pit of your stomach. And the worst part, your body believes every frame. Your heart's racing, your chest is tight, you feel sick over something that literally does not exist yet. If that's you, I need you to know something right now. Nothing's wrong with you. Your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. The problem is it's doing it at a time and in a way that's making your life miserable. And today I'm going to show you why this happens and give you the one tool that actually works to turn down the volume on this mental horror show. So first, let's talk about what's actually happening when you worry about things that haven't happened yet. In psychology, this is called anticipatory anxiety, and it's one of the most common experiences that human beings have. So the American Psychological Association published research showing that anticipatory anxiety can actually cause more distress than the event you're worried about. Think about that. The worry is often worse than the thing itself. Here's what your brain's doing. You have this ancient part of your brain, it's called the amygdala, and its entire job is to scan for threats. And it's brilliant at this. It kept your ancestors alive. If there was a rustle in the bushes, the amygdala would go, could be a predator, better get ready to run. And here's the thing, it didn't matter if it was actually a predator. Your brain would rather be wrong 1,000 times about a rustling bush than right once about ignoring an actual threat. So it errs on the side of danger every time. Now, of course, the problem is we no longer live in a world of rustling bushes. We live in a world of emails and deadlines and health worries and relationships and a 24-hour news cycle telling us that everything's falling apart. And your amygdala can't tell the difference. So it sees an email from your boss with no subject line and goes, threat, begin worst case scenario immediately. So this is the bit that I really want you to understand because it changes everything when you get it. Your brain isn't broken. It's not defective. It's not punishing you. It's trying to protect you using a system that was designed for a completely different world. So when your brain plays that worst case movie, the meeting goes badly, you say the wrong thing, everyone judges you, it genuinely believes it's doing you a favor. It thinks that if it can show you what might go wrong, you can prepare for it, you can avoid it, you can be ready. But here's what's actually happening. Your brain creates the scary movie. Your nervous system doesn't know it's imaginary. It responds as though it's real. And cortisol floods your system. So your muscles tense up, your breathing gets shallow, and now you're lying in bed at 2 a.m. in a full body stress response over something that might not even happen. Now, research shows that 85% of the things people worry about actually never happen. And of the 15% that do happen, the vast majority of people report handling it far better than they expected. So your brain's giving you a nightly horror film screaming, and the movie almost never comes true. But your body doesn't get that memo. Your body just feels the fear. Now here's something that drives me a little crazy. When you tell someone you can stop worrying, what's the most common thing that people say? Just don't think about it. Or think positive. Or my favorite one, everything will be fine. Listen, none of that works. And it's not because you're weak or because you're not trying hard enough. It's because of how your brain is wired. So there's this famous study where researchers told patients, whatever you do, don't think about a white bear. Guess what? Everybody immediately thought about a white bear. So the harder you try to push a thought away, the louder it gets. Psychologists call this ironic process theory, and it's the reason just stop worrying is the least helpful advice in the history of advice. So when someone tells you just to think positive, your amygdala basically starts laughing. It goes, oh, you want me to stop scanning for threats? That's cute. I've been doing this for 200,000 years. I'm not stopping just because you read an inspirational quote. So what actually works? I'll get to that in a moment. But first I want to tell you a story. Years ago, I was at the airport. I was about to fly to a conference where I was giving a talk. And as I was standing at the gate, my mind decided it was time to screen the movie. You know the one. What if I forget everything? What if I freeze on stage? What if they realize I have no idea what I'm talking about? What if I trip walking onto the stage and everyone sees it and it ends up on the internet? No, that's not one I was worried about. It was more about, like, would I be able to remember what I was doing? And I remember my heart was pounding. I was nauseous. I genuinely wanted to go home. And I thought, wait a minute. I've given hundreds of talks, hundreds. And not once, not a single time has the nightmare scenario ever played out. Not once have I frozen. Not once has it been the disaster my brain was so confidently predicting. And I had this moment of real clarity. I thought, my brain's screening a movie, but I don't have to buy the ticket. I still got on the plane. The talk went fine. Actually, it went brilliantly. And the thing my brain spent 3 hours torturing me about, it never happened. So here's what I've learned from decades of studying this. The movie always feels real, but it's never a documentary. It's always fiction. So here's the tool. When you catch yourself in the spiral, when the movie's playing and your body's responding and you're deep in what if, I want you to ask yourself 3 words. Is it happening? That's it. Is it happening right now? Not could it happen, not might it happen, not what if it happens. Is it happening right now in this moment? And in almost every case, the honest answer is no, it's not happening. You're imagining, you're predicting it, you're bracing for it, but it's not happening. And when you can create even a tiny gap between the movie and reality, something shifts. Your nervous system gets a moment to recognize that right now, right here, you're safe. Your breathing can slow down. Your muscles can unclench. Not because the worry goes away forever, but because you've interrupted the loop. Now, I know you might be thinking, but Monique, sometimes bad things do happen. And of course they do. I know better than most people. But worrying about them beforehand, it just doesn't protect you. It just means that you suffer twice. Once in your imagination and once if it actually happens. You know, this pattern of anticipatory anxiety, this brain that's on constant high alert, it's one of the biggest hidden obstacles to happiness. And most people don't even realize it's happening. They just feel tired, on edge, and they wonder why they can't relax. So if that's resonating with you, I would love you to take the free happiness quiz. All right? The link's in the description, or go to iintendtobehappy.com. It takes about 2 minutes. You'll get a personalized report that shows you exactly where your happiness is getting stuck. And it might not be where you think. There's real insight in here about what's happening under the surface. Link's in the description. Now, I promised you a practical technique, and here it is. I call this the realistic movie. You know how your brain automatically plays the horror version of the future? We're going to give it a different script. Here's what you do. When you catch the worst movie playing, I want you to do 3 things. Number 1, first, let the worst case movie finish. Don't fight it. Watch it like a movie. Acknowledge it. Okay, that's the nightmare version. Second, now write the best case scenario. The one where everything goes perfectly. The meeting goes brilliantly. The doctor says you're fine. The conversation brings you closer. Play that movie too. And third, and this is the important part, write the realistic version. The one where it's not perfect, but it's okay. The one where you handle it. The one where maybe it's uncomfortable, but you get through it, because you always do. What you'll find is that realistic version is almost always the one that comes true. Not the nightmare, not the fairy tale, the one in the middle where you cope, where you're okay, where life goes on. You know, a therapist that I know says something to me that I've always remembered and loved. She said, your brain is showing you a trailer for a movie that probably won't get made. And when you can see the trailer for what it is, fiction, not forecast, you take back so much power. So here's what I want to leave you with, and this is something I really believe. You have a 100% survival rate for your worst days. Every terrible thing that's happened to you, every loss, every rejection, every moment you thought you wouldn't get through, you got through it. You're here. You're still right here, listening to this, watching this, still going. I know this one personally. When I was 19, many of you know I tried to take my own life after years of a horror childhood. And in the aftermath, I could have let fear of the future destroy what was left. There were years where it almost did. But I learned slowly, painfully, and then with real wonder that the future my brain kept predicting was almost never the future that showed up. The future that showed up including traveling the world in a backpack for 13 years, playing music with Chuck Berry, like opening for him 2 European tours, riding a motorcycle through India for 4 years, working with the Dalai Lama, teaching happiness at universities and colleges and so many different countries, building a life I could never have imagined, living my dream life now, down here in Costa Rica. None of that was in the horror movie my brain kept screening, none of it. So when your brain starts playing what if tonight, because it will, I want you to gently remind yourself, this is a trailer, not a documentary, and my track record for getting through hard things is actually perfect. So if you landed with this today, if you said, yes, this is me, I'd love for you to subscribe, okay? I talk about the real practical stuff about happiness, not the fluffy stuff, the real stuff, the real techniques. And if you want to go deeper, check out my meditation program, The 10-Minute Mind. You find it at the10minutemind.com, because learning to observe your thoughts without getting dragged into them, that's the real game changer for anticipating anxiety. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Remember, the movie isn't real. As always, be kind, take care, go gently in the world.